when you have kids, you learn a lot about yourself. I learned a lot about myself when I had kids. For instance, I learned that I could speak a second language when I had kids. I didn't know I could speak a second language. I mean, when I was in middle school, they taught me how to do French, but I forgot it. I didn't use it, so I lost it. I lost it. I can't speak French no more. But now, having kids, I speak a second language. I'm telling you, and most parents do. When I get mad at my kids now, I start saying words that don't make sense. It's like I'm from Avatar and I live in Pandora or something. Like, hey, well, get the bed and kids in here and sleep. It don't make sense. My wife knows exactly what I be talking about. Like, yeah, you heard your dad say go to bed. I'm looking at her like, how the heck you figure it out? Because you understand, she understands my pain, my frustration. I can't even get a sentence together now when you got kids. You just start saying random things. You be telling your kids go eat. Hey, get the plate, put the sink, and eat the food, and hey, the fork in the mouth. It's got, boy, girl, stop playing with me. You should speak a second language. You don't even make sense as an adult no more when you start talking to your kids. I'm simply down to this. Look, I got a 4-year-old daughter. I mean, 4-month-old daughter and a dog. And now I just simply been put down to just saying, hey, just start pointing like, hey, I don't even talk no more. Just like, hey, I start pointing, go to bed, hey, point towards, the steps. It's time to go to bed. It's time to go eat, hey, go in the kitchen. Time to go sit down in the living room, hey, boy, hey. That's what I do now. I didn't broke down to that. Because kids, they got a level of frustration. They got a level of putting you in a place where mentally you get frustrated and just get stressed out to a point you start speaking a second language. You start learning something new about yourself. But they ain't all they teach you. They teach you that you're not as smart as you thought you was. And that's the truth. Kids teach you that you're not as smart as you thought you was. I swear, I'm good with numbers. I'm really good at numbers and stuff. I swore I was good at math until my kids brought their math homework home. They brought their math homework home. Then I realized, like, they brought their dad, got my math homework, I need some help. They brought it home looking at it like, oh, what's this? Hey, hold on. You got to turn it, and we turn things upside down, sideways, hoping that the answers or something going to change, which they don't. But we start turning things, I don't know why we do that as parents, we start turning things like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Back in the day, when we had the add, subtract, multiple, plus, and subtraction numbers, we just, borrow, loan to the neighbor, do it that way. Now, they got this thing called Common Core math, where you got to do this whole system and this whole different way of doing math to a point where I'm like, man, I don't understand this crowd. Go ask your mom, bro. I ain't got patience for this. My wife got patience. I don't, okay? So my wife, it's time to do homework. If you don't get the second time I showed you, you just failed the class. Bottom line, you just failed. I'm sorry. You should have been paying attention in class. You failed. My thing is you just failed the whole year. You start over next year with clean slate. It could be the first day of school. You failed the class. My wife's more patient, though. She's more patient. I give her credit. Talk about her a lot on the show, but she's more patient. She sits down and she's like, we're going to figure it out. We'll go on YouTube and she can go on YouTube or she's going to figure it out. I ain't got patience for it, people. Especially with this Common Core math. I ain't got patience for it, And I got in trouble with the teacher, okay? Got in trouble with the teacher. I ain't got in trouble with a teacher since I was in high school or middle school, okay? So they sent the math problem home. And, it was a three number question plus. So you know what, Ed, borrowed from the neighbor, all that. Then they wanted you to explain the answer. So in my best penmanship, I explained how I got the answer. I said, well, I borrowed it from the 4 because the 4 had one more than it needed. So I borrowed from my neighbor from the 4, gave it to the 1, added this, came up with the number. Basically, I got 143. Okay, I got 143 or 133. I don't know how I got 143. 133. Well, that wasn't right because that ain't the way she wanted me to explain it, and that ain't the way I was supposed to do it. Common Core math don't tell you to do it that way. And so she got mad at me and wrote me a nasty letter like, you're teaching your child wrong and I ain't asked you to explain it that way. No, I wanted you to show me how you got the answer, not explain how you got the answer. So it's so much confusion. So when kids bring home schoolwork, you start asking yourself, am I really smarter than a 3rd grader? And the answer is no. I mean, in fact, graduated college with a high GPA don't really matter because I'm not smarter than a 3rd grader. It causes you anxiety when your kids bring schoolwork home. It causes you stress, people. Causes you stress. Because you start to wonder, what do teachers go through? What do teachers go through? How do they feel about this common core math that they teach it? Most teachers don't like it, but they wasn't taught to them about how they felt about it. I mean, a lot of these decisions are made on a political level where teachers are not even consulted. Parents are not consulted because, truthfully, politicians and the people in school board, they know what your children need more than we do and the parents and the teachers do, right? Because they spend more time with their they're your students, right? They know what the children need to be successful, to get the grade levels up, to get the success rate of education system. They know because they're politicians and they're part of the school board. They know better than teachers and parents. And that's the way it operates, and that's how Common Core math has basically gotten here. But they don't know. In fact, not only do they not know, we think the teachers don't know our students or our kids as good as we do. We argue with the teachers about how Johnny was writing on the desk in school. The teacher called you, like, Johnny was writing on the desk in school. No, it wasn't. My son wouldn't do that. You just sing him out. Or little Jessica was up there yelling out at school. My daughter wouldn't do that. She wouldn't yell out. We thought we had it all figured out, and the teachers was the problem. It wasn't Common Core math. It was the teachers was the problem all the way up until the pandemic hit. Then online teaching started. Then us as parents changed our whole perspective on teaching. Whole perspective on it. We thought I knew our children until one day our children up in the bedroom, you know, just want them comfortable doing their schoolwork. And the teacher texts you like, yo, go check on your child right now. And Johnny, he ain't just jumping on the bed. He's jumping on the bed writing on the wall. And a Sharpie. And you know anything about Sharpie, it's a permanent marker. So they like, what the hell? She told me, so Johnny is writing. So now he ain't writing on the desk, he writing on your wall. You didn't think Jessica was really yelling out in class, interrupting class, till you sitting there working, and Jessica sitting there telling all your personal business. My dad had to sleep on the couch last night. Him and mom was arguing because she keep cooking spaghetti once a week, and he tired of eating spaghetti. They ain't got enough money to pay the bills. You know, just start yelling stuff, and then you forget they on mute, and you start as a parent, you start, boy, girl, hey, stop telling, stop telling the business on the streets and in the school. You know, speak a second language. We start yelling out because we forget our kid on mute. All us parents at one point forgot our kids was on mute doing online school and start yelling out or even smack our kids. We forget to turn the camera off. We forget to hit the button. We react so quick. Girl, tell them my damn business. You don't be telling them I ordered on DoorDash. Ain't nobody's business in class I ordered on DoorDash. It ain't nobody's business that, you know, I cook spaghetti once a week. It ain't nobody's business I was sleeping on the couch. But that's what kids do. And we get mad at the teachers because we figure they don't know anything about the students. They don't know what students need. Like, they're not spending all this time in the classroom with the kids. We get mad at the teachers. So not only teachers are put in a tough position where parents are blaming them for the failures of their children, but then the school board is also blaming them for the failure of their children. When nobody's paying attention to what's really going on. This Common Core math is not helping our children. It's complicating it because us as parents who have a more developed brain, who most of us graduate school, some of us even went to college, did very well in college, we don't understand how to do this math, but we expect our children to understand how to do this, to learn this new concept of teaching. They don't understand no more as we get anxiety, man. Our kids come home with schoolwork, I'm looking like, man, I start sweating before they take out the book bag. I'm like, man, phew. Man, look, man, go ahead with that, man. Look, I had a stressful day at work today. You know, I got to figure out how I'm going to pay these bills. Man, go ahead, man. Hey, go ahead, man. I got your gas in the car right there. I got to cook dinner, man. Go ahead with that. Don't bring your schoolwork on me. Because it's already stressful for us. So imagine what your kid's going through. Imagine what teachers going through when they're forced to teach a kid not truly how to comprehend what they're reading, not truly teaching them about history, not truly teaching them how writing, critical thinking, not truly teaching them the basic concepts of having to break down math. They're teaching your children how to take a test. Because you gotta teach your children to take a test because all the school funding is based on assessment of a test that your children's making on what education level they're on. So kids are being forced throughout school year to take a test. Not only this Common Core math, but now you're teaching a kid how to take a doing test. This is what teachers are giving. They're forced to teach these kids how to take a test. Okay? Now, kids may not do as well on tests. Now, for multiple reasons. You immediately assume that, you know, the teachers, the school board, the school is failing. In most cases, it is. But you got to put in concepts, you got to put in context of what teachers are dealing with. I'm not being a defender of teachers. I'm just being honest. Just talking to you people. You got to think of what teachers are dealing with. A teacher on average, a public school teacher on average is dealing with 20 to 30 kids in a classroom by themselves. Now, in the classroom, there's three different levels in this classroom. There's the kids that are on a higher level of teaching. There's the kids that are on moderate level of teaching. There's the kids on a lower level of teaching. But see, these teachers can't sit here and give the kid on a lower level of teaching the attention need because, like I said, one teacher, 30 kids in the classroom. So that kid on a lower level is forced to try to keep up with the kids on a moderate level and a higher level. Now, the kids who are on a higher level of teaching, see, they can't get the attention they need because they need to be sped up because they're bored in class. They need to be challenged. But see, if I can't give you attention to challenge you, because if I give attention to challenge you, then the kid on moderate level then dives down to a lower level because, see, you're not giving them the same level. They're not on a level, higher level. They can't understand that more deeper teaching. They can't understand that more challenge. They're cool on a smooth, steady course. So a teacher is put in a difficult situation with trying to moderate and try to teach these 3 different levels of kids on a daily basis. Why one teacher, 30 kids, 30 different personalities. We talk about what happened in our house when our kids come home and we yell, hey, speaking second language, hey, pick up that damn paper. Nothing to worry about. But you got teachers dealing with 30 different kids, 30 different personalities from 30 different backgrounds. And we wonder how complicated it is to be a teacher. Then we got to think about the fact that teachers are underpaid. Not only understaffed, but underpaid, extremely underpaid. Schools are extremely underfunded. So a lot of times teachers don't even have the materials that they need to truly teach the kids in the valuable way that they want to. And most teachers, even though they're underpaid, then gotta learn to reach in their own pockets, where their pockets are already short, looking kind of young, because they're underpaid, to go and use their personal funding to buy things for the classroom to make sure that your children get the education they need. I mean, you got to think about it, people. The school system is all jacked up because, again, you got politicians and people on school board who don't spend a single second in a classroom getting to know these kids, getting to know the different levels of these kids, understanding truly the kids' needs, who are making decisions about funding and how you're going to do testing and assessing a kid's education level. Teaching what's the best way of teaching them math. You got people who don't spend time with your kids making decisions about your kids. People don't even know your goddamn kid's name. Your kid's name is number 44 on a list of 20,000 kids. That's as far as they know your kid's name. Your kid's name is 44. Your kid's name ain't Jacob. It ain't Melissa. Your kid's name is 44 on a list. That's all they know about your kids. And 44 is either below average, above average, or on average. And that's all they know about your children. They're making decisions about your children right now. They're making decisions about your children funding if your kids in public school. Public school right now. Public schooling is a farm system, in my opinion. It's a farm system, people. They're preparing you to push you through, giving you a bare minimum education, not because the teachers are inadequate to teach children, but they don't have the information and all the materials and tools they need to give your children the attention and the education that not only do they need, but they deserve. But then they also got to deal with blame because when the children fail or don't meet the standards, then it's the teacher's fault. And because of this, the public school system is a complete disaster. And our children are being forced to be in a farm system that they're pushed from first grade to second grade, third grade, they're pushed to middle school, with some kids not even being able to read, comprehend what they're reading, not being able to write, can't break down basic math, can't do basic addition, and now they're forced to do division, multiplication, algebra, but they don't even know how to add 2 plus 2 yet. And I'm not even trying to be funny, people, I'm being serious. Because this is what happened. Then you wonder why the high school dropout rate is so darn high. Because a lot of these kids get to a point where you get frustrated when your kid bring homework home. Your kid get frustrated because they spend all day in school and not knowing it. You wonder why they acting up. Why little Johnny writing on the desk? Because he go home, either parents don't got time to take the time to teach them with their homework, or they just don't understand. They just don't got the patience like I do, but thank God they got a great mother who, spends time teaching them. I try to be patient people. I'm working on it. I ain't done with it yet. I'm trying to be more patient. But my wife is more patient. And she got more time to take, but some kids don't have that. Some kids, it's not that parents don't want to take time with them. You got single parents out here. You got multiple family parents who have to work 2 or 3 jobs that make ends meet. So maybe they work 2 or 3 jobs, so they don't really have the time or the funds to sit and pay for tutors to help teach their kids to keep up with Common Core or to learn to take an assessment test. So they don't have the time or the funds to hire a tutor to sit here and give their kids. So these kids are suffering because they go to school, and you know how it is when you go to work and you don't know how to do something, and somebody don't want to train you and give you the information you need to do your job. You get frustrated. A lot of times you're sitting at your desk, just staring at a screen, and you don't understand what these numbers mean or what to do. You're just sitting here trying to figure it out in your head, but you don't have a freaking clue what you're doing because nobody wants to help you. Imagine being a kid and being forced in that situation where you got to sit in the classroom and you're being taught something that you don't understand. Then you got to go take a test on it, and then you have to do a test, a time test on something you don't even understand when they teach in the classroom. And you can't ask for help because the teacher it's not the teacher don't want to give you help. They can't. It's 30 kids. You go to a daycare right now, people. Go to a daycare right now. There's literally 5 kids to each adult. They won't allow more than 5 or 6 kids per adult at a daycare. But then you go to a school and you go into a classroom, there's literally 20 to 30 kids to one teacher. And one teacher is supposed to sit here and regulate their time and their curriculum to fit 30 kids that are on different age levels, or different levels of learning, different educational levels, different backgrounds. Then the teacher then got to turn around and go in their pockets and pay for materials, or parents have to try to donate materials because the school system claims they don't have money. This is the education system we live in, people. This is what kids deal with. But it gets deeper than that. Let me tell you how deep this education system is broken, because see, it's deeper than just teachers and common core math. It's deeper than just the fact that assessment tests. You know what's deeper about it is? It gets deeper when they start eliminating programs. Eliminate programs like music. They eliminate programs like music and art. Why is these programs? You probably saying to yourself, well, music ain't important because my daughter ain't trying to become the next Whitney Houston, the next Jay-Z. They ain't trying to become a rock star. They're not trying to become Bach, Beethoven. They're not really that into music. They're not trying to become the new Basquiat, the new Picasso, the new Van Gogh. So why do I need art and music? Well, see, here's the thing you got to think about with art and music, people. It's deeper than just sitting here teaching you how to become a rapper, a rock star, a pianist. It's deeper than teaching you how to become the next artist. It teaches you and exercises your creativity. See, exercise is something that us as adults, we lose at a certain age, or a level of creativity. See, I had a conversation. This is off subject, but I'm going to jump back on for a second. I remember having a conversation. I was in Mrs. Conversation where these people was laughing about this woman. She had a Hyundai, and she put a Jaguar emblem on the top of her Hyundai. And they thought it was just the funniest thing in the world. And I said, what's so funny? She's speaking to existence what she wants. See, I looked at it this way. Her creativity put that Jaguar sign on the front of that Hyundai as a way of her being creative to speak into existence and reminding herself of what she's working towards. See, she's driving a Hyundai today, but she constantly reminded herself that she wants to drive a Jaguar, and that's what she's working towards. She's using her creativity to create and remind herself of what she's attempting to achieve. But if you take away a person's creativity, then what are we left with? What are we truly left with as people? We left with a shell of our former selves. So when you think about the school system and you think about the fact that they're trying to take away art and music from our curriculums for our kids, you got to think about it. They're stripping our children of the creativity that they need and to develop and to be who they want to speak in existence. I mean, I get it. They ask you in first and second grade what you want to be as a kid. As a kid, you may say you want to be an athlete, or you want to be a rapper, or you want to be a basketball player, or maybe you want to be a hairdresser, but when you grow up, you end up being a scientist or something totally different. I get that you don't know what you want to be, but you're still trying to create and find yourself. And part of that creativity is through music. It's through art. And we lose that creativity as adults. And when you're children, they're losing that creativity, forcing them to grow up too fast. You got kids who go to school and they got a problem paying attention because my kids often says, well, it's boring in class, Daddy. It's boring in school. I get it. My kids want to talk about Fortnite all day, and that's what they want to learn about. That's what most kids, but I got to tell them, you're not at school to have fun. But it is nice sometimes to tell your curriculum to some of the things that these kids are interested in. That you use their creativity and their imagination to do math, science, social studies, even English, writing. And if you use these things that interest them, then you're going to get these kids more engaged and wanting to learn. See, if the school boards took time to actually learn these kids' names and their interests, to actually talk to the teachers, what they find out is Common Core math is not going to truly work to get these kids to the level of success they need. What these kids need to get to the level of success is creativity. Learn to think outside the box, because when you deal with the real world, you got to learn to think outside the box. You can't walk in a straight line thinking that everything's will work out for you. You know this as adults. We know this as people. When you go outside in the world, man, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what the world got waiting for you. When you go to work every day, you don't know what you want to experience. You got to think outside your box. You thought your paycheck was going to be X amount, but it's a little bit less, so you sure got to be creative with how you want to pay your bills and stuff, you know? So what I'm saying is, use this same level of creativity in teaching the curriculum, teaching them math, teaching them English. Use Fortnite. Use Minecraft. Use all these games these kids are playing in a curriculum. It's going to interest them. It's going to engage them. It's going to want to make them learn. It's going to want to make them do the schoolwork. This is what we need to do to build it. Not taking assessments, not blaming teachers for our children's failures. We have to take accountability in our own selves. We got to take our accountability as parents, and sometimes that we don't always do our part. And sometimes we sit here and ignore the problems and areas of our children. We don't take the time to teach our children how to read. We don't take the time to teach our children some things we need to learn. I'm sorry if y'all hear my dog barking in the background, but here's the door. But the point is, a lot of times we don't take the time to teach our children about the curriculums and learn things they need. So our kids don't get the education level they need, but we need to change that. Common Core math does not work. Now, I know the government and school boards not listen to what I'm saying right now, but I'm saying it anyway. It don't work, people. As a parent, it don't work. It don't work for the kids, and it don't work for us to teach them. It don't work, people. The common curriculum that's being taught is not working. The common funding that's happening right now in the school system is not working. We need to change the way we're teaching these kids and we're engaging these kids in school. And we need to make it more better for them. We got to change things where there's more men in the school system, more male teachers, because there's not enough teachers where students are able to relate to them. We got to teach kids busing from different neighborhoods to schools, and the teachers can't relate to these kids and their background, their problems, and who they are. There's not enough male teachers. There needs to be more integration in these school systems. I think I use the word right. So these kids see people that look like them, that understands them, and understand their background, what they're going through on a daily basis. We need changes to the school system, because right now the school system is broken. So what I'm doing is, if there's men out here right now trying to figure out what you're going to college for, and you try to figure out what you need to do, go to school for education, become a teacher, engage yourself, become big brothers, help out these kids, because there's kids who are very smart and intelligent that need your help. And before I sign off, I just gotta say one more thing. I don't got nothing against college, other than the fact that a lot of people who go to college, they leave with student loan debt, and can't afford to buy a house, can't afford to do anything because their student loan debt is so darn high. But what I will say is to people, I'm not going to discourage you from going to college. What I will say is to encourage you to go to college. Have a plan before you go. A lot of people say you're not going to know what subject you want to study, what major you want to study until you go to college. But here's what I'm going to say to you people. Have a plan before you go to college, so that when you get there, when you leave, you have a better plan when you get out and you're more set for success. So many people go to college and get a master's degree and get out and can't get a job. They got a boatload of debt but can't get a job because they didn't have a plan. What I mean by have a plan is, people, know what you want to do. So if you want to be a business manager, when you go to college, try to get an internship, try to get a job in the mailroom, work your way up, go in there with a shirt and tie on, suited and booted, so that you can know who's the movers and shakers in there. So when you graduate, you're more likely to get a job. If you want to be a nurse, get a job in dietary. If you want to do phlebotomy, get a job in dietary. Whatever you want to do, get a job in the basement area while you're in college. So when you build those relationships, so when you get out, they ain't just sitting here looking at you on a piece of paper, and as a person that don't have experience, they looking at you as a person who has motivation, has a plan, has drive, and who's willing to do what it needs to do, and have already established relationships to accomplish success. I'm Alan Gray. I want to thank you for joining me for another episode of the Past to Present podcast, and I hope that you listen to this episode. I hope that you acknowledge something that us as parents, we have a lot of learning to do. Us as people, as adults, we have a lot of learning to do, and that the issue and that what's happening in our school system is not all on the blame of the teachers, but we all have a part in taking blame into a broken school system that we're dealing with, and us pulling together and speaking up on behalf of our children is the only way we're going to fix this school system, fix this education, bring back creativity, music, art back to these schools, bring back the level of creativity, change the curriculum to adapt to these children's needs and their wants so that they can be successful. And all I got left to say is like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. And until next time I see you or talk to you people, I only got a few things left to say to y'all. Stay woke, stay focused, more importantly, stay tuned. Peace.